Were you just gonna leave without saying anything?
Didn't want to wake you.
I hate when guys just leave like that.
Well, it's not like it's the last time I'm gonna see you.
Right.
See my other shoe?
Please don't tell me you're gonna call me, okay?
There it is.
I'd rather you didn't say anything.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I had a great time last night.
But that was then and this is now, I know.
No, you don't know. I'd love to sleep in, I'd love to hang around with you all day, but because this is now, I have to get home and shower,
You could shower
shave,
here.
and change my clothes, and get to work on time. I have to leave. You see what I'm saying?
Get it?
I'm playing.
Tracy Gilchrist, 20. Blunt force trauma to the back of the head.
Who's that out there?
Neighbor from down the hall, Tanya Kellerman. She's on her way to the disposal, sees the door cracked, goes into the apartment, sees a leg sticking out of the closet.
She know anything?
She's pretty broken up. We were giving her a minute.
Morning.
All right, we got it.
Yeah, we'll start at campus.
Morning.
DOA's in the closet.
Yeah, a cop brought me up to speed.
That new ADA, Lori Munson, came by looking for you this morning.
She got me on my cell. McClintock's pretrial hearings today. She just want to run through my testimony.
You all set with that?
Piece of cake.
Because I can still cover it.
I got it.
There's blood on the closet wall like somebody banged their head against it. Receipt from a bodega at 4 this morning.
Late night girl.
Yeah. Listen, I got the neighbor. Why don't you check with the first officer, see did Murphy and Ortiz get everything?
Maybe I'll help with the neighbor first.
Detective Sipwith and Clark.
All the way from Spokane to be an artist, and she winds up like this.
How well you know her?
She moved in last year, like a lost puppy. She had no idea how to live in New York. I tried to help her out.
Any family?
Any family you know of?
I think both her parents had passed away.
She having any problems with anybody?
Not that I know of.
Drugs?
No, I doubt it.
What about a...
She have a boyfriend?
I know she was seeing someone because I remember her saying that she didn't want to go to him for money.
She need money?
Well, she couldn't make August's rent until I loaned it to her. And that was around the time that she got this awful job talking to men on the phone.
Like phone sex?
I guess that's what you call it. I know she hated it. I know it embarrassed her. I told her that I would cover her rent for another month, just so she could find something else. She wouldn't even have to pay me back.
All right.
Should I talk to the first officer now or check inspection stickers on cars out front?
You don't want to do this, John.
Hey, whatever issues we got, ice me out of an interview ain't gonna solve them. We're partners. Let me up so I can do my job.
You want to work the case? Nobody's stopping you.
And he needs a signature, too.
What is it?
All I know is it's registered and insured, so I gotta get it signed.
Maybe something Connie ordered?
This is you, right? Andy Sipowicz?
Yeah. I don't recognize this return address, though.
I just need you to sign the top line there. Special Agent Silas of the FBI. Let me go in the other room.
What the hell is this? Who's this now?
Special Agent Wyckoff.
Open the box, detective.
You think I ordered these?
They were addressed to you. Your credit card was used over the internet to purchase them.
I told them there had been incidents of harassment directed at you.
Did you tell them that since I don't know how to use the internet, I purchase all my child pornography over the counter?
What kind of incidents have there been?
tires slashed, getting sent a rat in the mail, moving up to my kid getting talked into a car by a stranger.
Any idea who's doing it?
Not yet.
Any idea how someone could have gotten your credit card?
Credit card numbers get lifted all the time.
Placing an order requires knowing a certain amount of personal history.
All right, listen to me. I got 3 kids, 32 years on this job, and no record of any deviancy of any kind. Now, if this isn't obvious to you what this is, then get a search warrant and conduct a full-blown investigation.
Is that necessary?
Under the circumstances, probably not.
Then am I done here?
Thank you for your time, Detective.
Confirm the DOA's employment at the Dial Yank service. The owner's coming in.
Crime scene moved some clothes. Found the name Sam Park scratched into the closet wall.
DOA's handiwork.
Wood shavings and a bent wire hanger on the floor, so it could be. We'll run the name through BCI and see if we get a hit.
I got court.
Excuse me, is there someone here we can talk to?
What's the problem?
I'm an attorney. This is my client, Scott Garvin. Mr. Garvin has reason to believe that his son may have been kidnapped.
You're not sure?
I got a call in the middle of the night, and they called again this morning to arrange a ransom.
Let's go talk in here. Greg, Bolt. I'm Detective Sipowicz. These are Detectives Medavoy and Jones. Why don't you tell us what they said?
The first call, a man's voice, said that they were holding my son Todd. The second call said to leave $500,000 in a garbage can at the northwest corner of 2nd Avenue and 11th Street at noon, or I would never see him again.
How come you didn't get in touch with us after the first call?
It's not always that easy to know the best approach to take.
Why don't we let him answer the question?
My son is angry at me. I was afraid it was something he was doing himself.
Why is he angry?
I cut him off. Financially? Right.
Well, staging a kidnapping's a pretty extreme reaction.
You're right, and I probably never should have thought it was something he would do.
Todd gave him cause to think that.
What prompted you to cut him off?
I thought it was the best thing for him. He wanted to go to architecture school. I got him in, paid his tuition. He drops out in the middle of the semester. He wants to be an art dealer. I rent a storefront, give him the startup money. After a month, he walks away and leaves me with a year's lease. When he hit me up this last time, I said no. I told him it was time to get a job.
You don't have to feel guilty about that.
In any case, this is the money.
You got $500,000 in there? We have an hour.
Tracy Gilchrist worked for you?
Until she stole from me.
How'd you manage that?
Tracy was something of a lost cause at first. Wooden, unimaginative. She could follow a script to the letter, but had no ability to improvise. I was actually ready to let her go when she landed the kind of compulsive fantasies the business is built on.
How compulsive are we talking about?
Put it this way. Anything over 100 minutes a week puts you in the VIP club. 250 minutes a week's Players Club. This guy was north of 300 minutes a week for 6 weeks running. That's when you don't want to lose, which is exactly what happened.
You think Tracy cut her own deal?
I know she did. I have contacts at the phone company who verified it.
What'd they verify?
That Tracy's special someone had started calling her on her home line.
You confronted her?
Of course I did. She told me he had become a friend and she wasn't charging him anymore.
Was she lying?
Doesn't matter. Anytime you have someone who racks up this kind of time, you don't become friends.
We'll want his name.
Sorry. I can't violate a client's confidence.
Tracy's dead.
You're kidding.
We're not kidding. And we don't care about client's confidence. We want his name.
Then get a court order. That way, my reputation's protected and you get your information.
We're not gonna do that.
Then I'm not giving out any names.
In which case, the FBI will be arresting both you and your contact in the phone company for violating federal laws regarding phone records.
Which might also affect your reputation.
His name's Barry Henning.
Detective Clark, in the course of your investigation, did you have occasion to interview a Carly Landis?
Yes.
What prompted that interview?
The defendant had indicated that Miss Landis was with him when Tina Most was killed.
Did Miss Landis corroborate that alibi?
Initially, we later determined that the alibi was false.
How did you make that determination?
As a result of our investigation, we learned the defendant's credit card was used late night at a market downtown.
Did you confront Miss Landis with this fact?
We did, and she recanted her initial statement.
Was any reason given as to why she lied?
She said the defendant had intimidated her into doing so.
Was she specific as to the nature of that intimidation?
She said the defendant had threatened her life.
I have nothing further.
Detective, have you had occasion to spend time with Miss Landis outside the context of your investigation?
Might have had a cup of coffee together.
Ever have dinner?
Objection. It's irrelevant.
Your Honor, Miss Landis has invoked her Fifth Amendment rights and will not be testifying. Since Detective Clark is the source of her statements which incriminate Mr. McClintock, I'm entitled to probe his credibility.
I'll allow it. Witness will answer.
I think we might have had dinner once.
Ever been to her apartment?
When I drove her home from the squad, I took her to her apartment.
Did you leave her at the front door, or did you take her upstairs?
As I remember, she was feeling a little apprehensive. I might have walked her upstairs.
How long did you stay?
No idea.
Did you have sexual intercourse while you were there?
Objection.
Overruled. I'll allow it.
Counselor, you're implying something that's not true.
Ask that the court instruct the witness to answer the question, not characterize it.
Yes or no, Detective?
It was one time.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you meet with Ms. Munson in preparation for your testimony?
Yes.
Did you tell her about your relations with a woman whose out-of-court statements you're testifying to?
I didn't think it was relevant.
If Mr. McClintock is incarcerated, the chief impediment to your trysts with Ms. Landis would be removed, would it not?
Objection. That is speculative.
Just trying to demonstrate relevance, Your Honor. But I'll withdraw the question. Nothing further.
What's the thinking behind the mic?
So we can hear.
If they give instruction,
Hear them out.
but don't necessarily do what they tell me.
Look, chances are they'll take the money and split. They're not looking to stick around there.
Yeah. And we'll be in constant communication.
Nothing happens to my son.
Surveillance van's an ice slip. We can't get it back in time.
What does that mean?
Means we'll have to improvise a little.
We use department cars, that's all.
Because I didn't come in right away.
It's not the first time we've done this kind of thing, sir.
But you usually have a van.
We'll be fine. Why don't you take Mr. Garvin out to the car?
I'd like to go along on this.
Sorry, that's not possible.
Steve, I'll be all right.
And Mr. Kaufman, you could wait upstairs in squad room.
Whoever shows up, we're gonna take them down, all right?
On kidnappings, I go by federal guidelines.
Which are what?
Try to maintain a visual contact until there's a tactical advantage, at which point we make an arrest.
So you run the risk of losing them, at which point you got no money, no victim, and no perp.
Kidnapping's a federal offense. I go by federal guidelines.
It's still negative. Nothing suspicious.
This your regular car?
Yeah.
You know you're over 500 miles past due for an oil change?
I didn't know that.
Make sure it gets into the shop.
Yes, sir, Lieutenant.
Today.
He's dropping the money now.
Be advised, we got a guy.
On a motorcycle, under the block.
We got him.
Why is he stopping there?
Keep walking, Mr. Garvin.
Where is he?
Let him go and return to the car, sir.
Where is he? Come on, tell me where he is.
Stay right here. He's getting away. Yeah, that's because he's made that there's cops. I don't want to compromise the situation.
So we just sit here?
That's right. Bye-bye. We'll regroup at the station house.
Where were you last night, Mr. Henning?
I attended a performance of Awake and Sing at my daughter's school.
What time would that have been?
Let's see, the play started at 7:30. It was over about 9:30. Can I ask what this is all about?
We're trying to understand the reason for all the phone calls.
What phone calls?
See, now, that's a silly question, with all due respect. Phone calls to Tracy Gilchrist, the phone sex phone calls.
What about them?
Judging by the volume of calls, you got in a little deep.
Is she claiming harassment?
She's dead. What was going on between you two, Barry?
What was going on was I found someone I cared about.
Starting with the phone sex?
There's no way I'm going to erase the stigma of that, so I won't even try. Yes, it started with the phone sex.
Clearly, she made an impression.
I've been through the usual ritualized blather with other girls. You know, I'm in my bra and thong, I'm touching myself. I hated all that. Tracy, Tiffany, as she was calling herself, used to say the same things, but I always sensed it was her pretending to say them, that she was imagining herself in a bra and thong. I don't expect you to understand that.
When'd you find out she had a boyfriend?
First time she agreed to meet me.
And still, she's letting you rack up big charges for the phone calls, restaurants. You must have gone for some pricey gifts, given the depth of your feeling.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this, but it's not true. Yeah, I spent money on her. Bought her painting materials, I paid her tuition at the Art Students League. But I got exactly what I wanted out of the relationship.
Where'd you go after the play?
Went to dinner at Shun Li, then I went back to my apartment. I got up at 7:30 this morning to go to work. I'll be happy to provide names and contact information to verify that.
That'd be good.
She drew me a little picture, Tracy. It's a sketch she did while we were on a bench in Central Park. I was afraid my wife would find it, so I threw it away. Why'd I do that?
How'd it go?
Good. What happened with the drop?
Botched.
We get a dump on the father's phone yet?
Ransom calls come back to a payphone in Brooklyn.
Are you gonna get that car in for servicing?
I'll make the call right now.
Where are we on the DOA?
We talked to a phone sex customer, Barry Henning. We're looking into his alibi.
What about those names scratched in the wall?
Nothing yet.
How'd your testimony go? Good. Just got a message from Marty Pappas at Major Case. He'll provide tactical support.
Pappas, who used to be in missing persons?
Right.
What's he gonna do for us?
Help us.
Andy.
He's gonna do what he's gonna do, Laura. Get used to it.
A little early to be calling in the cavalry.
There's a protocol. You follow protocol.
Okay, I gotta say something, because if I don't say it, I'm not doing my job. Whatever protocols you might be trying to follow, letting that guy get away set us back and did nothing for the kid being held.
Let's say we do it your way. We try to take the guy down. We wind up in a gun battle, lose the guy, and have the victim killed.
That would be a worst-case scenario.
I have to worry about worst-case scenarios.
To the point of being rendered completely ineffective?
This was a command decision, and it's been made.
Sitting on our hands while the perp beats feet with the money. That's some command decision.
That remark constitutes insubordination, Detective. Now, if rips don't work, I'll take it to the next level. But I will not tolerate insubordination.
You want me out of here? Make the call.
You got a case to work.
I can come back.
What is it?
Just to keep you current, we've run the names that were scratched into the wall of the DOA's apartment with the BCI, the DMV, through the nickname file, the safest system.
And?
This is with whatever permutations of those names we could think of. Sam Parks, Samuel Parks, Parker Samuels, Park Samuelson.
Yeah, I get it, Medavoy. What do we have?
So far, nothing.
Stay with it.
No, we're a long way from being done.
Good.
Phone dump on our kidnap victim just came back. There's calls into your DOA.
Our DOA? Tracy Gilchrist?
Yeah, going back and forth for months.
That can't be a coincidence.
This kid, Todd Garvin, just flagged down a radio car on Delancey Street.
Todd Garvin.
Right.
That name hasn't come up for us.
Doesn't matter. They gotta be related.
I'm Detective Ortiz, Mr. Garvin. Did your son ever mention the name Tracy Gilchrist?
No? Why?
Her name came up.
Well, there hasn't been a lot of communication between myself and my son recently.
Got some good news for you, sir. Your son's in a police car. He's on his way over.
Do we know what kind of shape he's in?
He's got a few bruises. Other than that, he's fine.
Someone want to fill in the high command and all this?
I got it.
Counsel?
We need to talk. You might want to hear this, too.
You left court early, so I figured you'd want to know. Judge excluded Carly Landis' statement.
I thought you said the motion was a long shot.
It was, till it came out in open court that your partner slept with the defendant's girlfriend. Or was that something the two of you didn't think I needed to know?
How's this?
Didn't think it was relevant.
You compromised a murder case.
No, I did not compromise a murder case. A defense lawyer got lucky. I don't like it, but you can't take it personally.
I am taking it professionally. Consorting with a witness was inappropriate enough. Keeping it from me so that I couldn't take the stink off you, that is unforgivable.
It happened the way she said?
She'd already recanted the alibi.
The judge said your partner wasn't credible. Our best evidence is gone.
I take it up on appeal.
Oh, thanks for the tip.
Hey, I'm sorry, all right?
You know, I don't know how my predecessor did things, but here's my deal. You need something, search warrant, wiretap, whatever, I'm on it. I expect the same cooperation from you, and I expect you to give a damn.
I got it.
Good. Now I have to answer to my boss, which I will do by putting it on myself. This time. Next time, it's your ass.
Wow, talk about tightly wrapped.
Did we not have a conversation about you steering clear of that girl?
She was bad off that night, Andy. I erred in judgment.
Nah, she wasn't bad off. She set you up. She saw you coming and she played you.
I don't think you're right about that, but it doesn't matter because the case will make, with or without my testimony.
You feel qualified to make that statement?
Yes, I do.
Okay, John.
It's not a big deal, Andy.
Got to check the statement when it comes. See if there's anything besides child pornography that they might have charged. Now, they said they could issue new cards by the end of the week. For now, we'll just have to make do without them. All right, Connie. Yeah, I'll see you when I get home. Bye.
Pot was almost done. Figured I'd snag the last 2 cups.
I'm good.
Save it for later. Coffee?
Oh, thank you.
Detective. Hey, Dad. Mr. Garvin, we're gonna need to talk to him for a minute.
No, I understand. You all right?
Yeah, you know, under the circumstances.
Your fingers, all your toes, right?
Right.
We'll finish up with them, then you can have them. Todd.
All right. You had lunch, Mr. Garvin?
No.
There's a coffee shop around the corner.
If it's all right, I'll just wait here.
Where are we?
Her phone sex buddy looks like he'll probably alibi out. We got phone logs with whoever else she talked to. I'm running the names through BCI.
Let's see if we can establish a link with the kidnappings. Meantime, any way you want to proceed's fine with me. Just let me know what you need.
Any way we want to proceed, let him know what we need. Andy must have softened him up.
If you need to get looked at, we can run you over to emergency room.
I'm okay. Just as soon talk to you guys, tell you whatever I can about this mess.
Please.
My girlfriend and I were at Gorky's on Avenue B. We started talking to this other couple. He does sculpture. She wants to open up a club. We had a few drinks. He asked me if I want to go see some of his work. I say, yeah.
They say their names?
His name was Derek. He said his name was Derek. Her name was Yvonne. I didn't really get a last name on either one of them.
So the 4 of you left together?
The 3 of us. Tracy was tired. She went home.
They have a car?
Yeah, like a van.
Make, model?
I'm not really much of a car person. I didn't take notice.
Where'd the 3 of you go?
Someplace in Brooklyn. We went over the Manhattan Bridge, came down Flatbush. At some point, I think we were on Myrtle. I don't know. I don't really know Brooklyn that well.
What was the place they took you to?
Someplace that he worked, like a converted garage. There were all these welding tanks, metal rods. I will tell you, we smoked some hash. She had these temple balls and a chillum. What can I say?
Was that the only drug you did?
Yeah, but I was pretty zoned out. And all of a sudden, I get hit by like a pipe or something. Next thing I know, I'm on the floor. My hands are tied, my ankles are tied, and the 2 of them are standing over me.
So, what, you gave him your father's number?
He fired up a welding torch, said he'd burn a hole through my hand if I didn't.
Any idea how they knew that your father had money?
I told him. Part of being an asshole is that you want to impress people. I kind of let it slip that my family has a house in the Hamptons, a townhouse on East 83rd Street. I didn't leave much to chance that they'd pick up on my father having money.
So, Todd, what's the relationship with you and your father?
Good.
Well, we know that you had conflicts about money.
He said that?
Words to that effect.
Yeah. I don't blame the guy. He's been working his whole life. He sees me go through all this money. Do you know he doesn't even fly first class?
Todd, just so you know, if you did arrange this, that's a family matter. You can tell us it's between you and your dad.
I did not arrange this. No way.
Last time you spoke to your girlfriend was when?
Gorky's.
Sorry to have to tell you this, but unfortunately, she's been the victim of a homicide.
It's impossible.
She was found in her apartment this morning.
I was just with her.
We're gonna need you to look through some mugshots. Yeah.
I see you guys a minute.
Let's take some time. You want something? Coffee or soda?
No. Thank you.
BCI says a Parks Benton took a forgery collar a few years back with Samantha Lewitis. Calls herself Sam. Get it? Sam Parks. Like the name in your DOA's closet. There's no address on Benton, but Lewitis lives at 5th and C.
Josh, get this kid set up with some mug books.
Sure.
This is bad between Andy and John.
Andy's not the easiest guy in the world to get along with.
John's been pushing a little bit.
From what I hear, he isn't doing anything Andy hasn't done, and then some.
Andy came through all that, though. Can't expect him not to have a reaction.
You want to keep going with this?
No.
All right, let's not talk about it anymore.
Whatever you say.
That looks like them.
It's them.
Get out of the car. Come on. Come on.
What's this?
What?
This.
I wanted playing poker.
Think of a better story before we get to the station house.
In my office a second, Sibwitz? When they were servicing the car, they found a listening device. It had been installed behind the dash. From what they tell me, it probably hadn't been in there that long.
Who installed it?
I checked with Internal Affairs. It wasn't them. Given my relationship with them, I trust I got a straight answer. I also checked with the DA's office and the U.S. Attorney. Wasn't them either.
Whoever talked my son into that car knew things to say to him. This is how they knew.
I spoke to Lieutenant Greco over at Taru. They're going to go through the car, see what they can come up with.
I'd like to hold on to this if I could.
Yeah, I don't want you running with this yourself.
Let me call the manufacturer, see where they sell it.
Detective, I've gotten the ball rolling with an investigation because I take this matter as seriously as you do.
I appreciate that.
And because I don't want you to feel as though it requires your personal intervention.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, I really can't sit back on something that involves my family. I can't be all that confident that other people are taking care of it.
Now, other people are taking care of it.
Maybe I could just hold on to this so when I'm working the phones, I got it in front of me.
Sure.
How do you know I didn't find the money in a dumpster?
We do this for a living, Parks.
Plus, we got you going to a drugstore with Tracy Gilchrist at 3 o'clock in the morning.
She needed saline solution for her contacts. I took her to get it.
That and the money tie you to the kidnapping.
There wasn't any kidnapping. It was a setup.
Oh, that's true, Parks, and all we have to deal with is a girl.
What about the girl?
The girl's dead.
Oh, no, you don't.
We're open to hearing an explanation for it. You just gotta be straight with us.
Well, I'm not taking a rap for a murder, I'll tell you that.
Right now, your girlfriend's upstairs looking to help herself. Now, you might want to think about how to help yourself.
This was supposed to be easy. This guy Todd maps out a situation where we can make some money. It wasn't even criminal. Great, good. Next thing, the chick trips a circuit, and Sam went off.
How'd she do that?
We smoked this hash, started talking about these different weird jobs that we all had. It got around to this phone sex thing that, what's her name?
Tracy.
Tracy did. Todd says, give us a sample. She says some stupid lines that they have her say to these losers that call. Next thing I know, Sam, on the account that she's nuts, thinks I'm getting off on it.
What happened then?
She tells me to take Todd out to this place in Brooklyn, so if they follow us from picking up the money, we're not coming back to his girlfriend's apartment. Made sense to me, so I did it. She must have killed her after we left.
And the kidnapping was Todd's idea?
Right from the jump. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the kidnapping wasn't a kidnapping, and the murder wasn't done by me with me not on the premises at the time it was done. I'm good to go, no?
I wouldn't want to make any ironclad assurances, but certainly there's nothing wrong with taking that position at the outset.
Hey, how'd it go?
Puts the homicide on the girl. Said the kidnapping was a hoax.
Todd's idea.
Right.
Yeah, like you said all along.
Okay, you two gonna work things out?
Eventually, probably.
Be a shame if you didn't.
No, we will.
What'd you find out?
It's manufactured in Worcester, Massachusetts. It is the top-of-the-line microphone transmitter this company makes.
Where's it sold, John?
There's a number of places, unfortunately.
How many?
In New York?
Right, John. Let's start with New York.
In New York, there are 14. Would you like me to list them?
Sure, thanks.
We have a feeling the idea for the kidnapping didn't start with you.
You got that right.
So it was Parks.
Parks gets a headache. He thinks of anything that complicated. Nah, that yuppie asshole Todd thought it up, walked us through it, and we went for it.
How does the girl figure into all this?
She's Todd's girlfriend.
How'd she wind up being killed?
I don't know anything about that.
So it was outside the scope of the plan, in other words?
Until right now, I didn't even realize it happened.
Who would be responsible, you think?
Maybe her boyfriend did it. I don't know.
Samantha, you're in a bad spot right now. Your boyfriend said he left you alone with Tracy in her apartment, and I suspect Todd's gonna back him up.
Which means you get stuck taking the rap for both of them.
If it was a struggle between you and Tracy and it got out of hand, it's a lot less of a rap.
But you gotta tell us that's what happened.
I would have liked to do it on the phone. Sit in your kitchen, say some dirty words to somebody who ain't even there and get paid for it. I had to go into motel rooms with him. I had to go in cars with him. I had to go wherever that stupid bastard set it up for me to go. Now some artsy-fartsy college girl's gonna humiliate me by getting him turned on? Him and his new yuppie friend? I don't think so.
That's why you sent your boyfriend and Todd away.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, it's on them what I did, whether they were there or not.
Why'd you lie about Tracy, Todd?
Because I felt guilty that I exposed her to these people. Like, even though she was gone before I got hit with the pipe, I just didn't want her to be involved with any trials or inquiries or whatever.
Well, it must be even worse when you found that she was dead.
Yeah, you can't imagine what I'm going through right now.
See, Todd, the problem is what we're getting is that the kidnapping was your idea.
That's what they're telling you because it gets them off the hook, obviously.
You know, hard as this may be to believe, but even a couple of dumb cops like us might suspect that. But when we get two people telling the same story independently, and one of them confesses to a homicide, we're inclined to believe them.
All right, look. My father and I have a very complicated relationship. He sets himself up as this caring, I can't do enough for my kids kind of father. But he lets you know when you disappoint him. Lets you know when you're not living up to his ideal of the perfect son.
Must have been pretty hurt to go to the lengths you went to.
I was just sick and tired of him looking at me like I was worthless.
So you came up with this plan and brought your girlfriend along?
And that is something for which I will never forgive myself.
Progress? Kids are calling.
You went for it.
He went for setting up the kidnapping.
Then he goes for the homicide.
Since he wasn't there when the girl was killed, there's half shot he'll beat it.
Yeah, it should be a shame.
One of you will film the father?
I'll take care of it. Mr. Garvin.
Where's Todd?
The kidnapping was your son's idea, Mr. Garvin. He's under arrest.
We said we didn't want to prosecute.
His girlfriend was murdered by one of the people he enlisted. That makes him responsible as well.
His girlfriend was murdered.
Did Todd participate in her murder?
I'm not going to go into any specifics with you, Counselor.
If he didn't participate and it wasn't foreseeable, chances are nobody's going to hang a murder charge on him.
Can I see him?
He's being processed now. When we get ready to take him to court, I'll let you know. You can see him then.
It's not your fault, Mr. Garvin. Whatever you did, whatever you didn't do, your son brought it upon himself. Call for your detective.
Sipowicz. All right, thanks. That was Munson about your hearing this morning. Murder charges against McClintock have been dropped.
Oh, Boldo.
What happens when your star witness gets knocked out of the box?
Some system, huh? Did you just walk away from me?
Yeah, John, I walked away from you.
I went for some trim I shouldn't have gone for. How long I gotta hang on the cross for that?
I don't know.
I feel bad it happened, Andy. I mean, you know I feel bad it happened.
How bad are you gonna feel when this asshole McClintock beats some other poor girl to death?
And that's on me, right?
Listen, John. I don't want to work with you no more.
How about I see you in the morning? You can tell me all about it.
I'm not kidding around with you, John.
Are you gonna dump me as a partner over this?
Yeah.
Shame on you.
It's not something I want to do.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what you want to do. That way you can hold yourself out holier than thou, St. Andy of Assisi.
I think you might want to look at your own part in it.
You're cutting me loose for nothing. Because you want to, because it makes you feel better.
No.
Yeah, you're a phony, Andy, and I'm on to you. Huh? I'm having a tough time, and you don't want to deal with it, so here's your easy out. Yeah, well, good. You don't want me as a partner? I don't want you as a partner. Simple, we get a divorce.
Right, let's let it go at that.
Drop dead.
Hiya, Connie. Listen, I haven't left work yet, and I was wondering, what are you doing now? Can you maybe call next door to Teresa to watch the kids? No, everything's all right. I just don't want to drive myself right now. I haven't been drinking. What I'm afraid of, if I drive myself home, I'll stop and I will drink, and that's why I'm calling you. I'll wait right here. Yeah.